If you have not seen any trailers or marketing for this movie, great. You are one of the lucky ones. Turn off this review, go into the movie blind, and you will be surprised by all the twists and turns this movie takes. And then you can come back and watch this review. So, assuming you have done that, let's get this review started. Now, Abigail is a horror movie that is directed by the guys that gave Dewey a shit death in Scream 5. And the movie is about these people who kidnap a rich man's young daughter so they can hold her for ransom for $50 million. Only, the characters find out that the little girl is in fact not a little girl, she's a vampire, and it becomes a battle for survival as the characters try to escape. Now, at first glance, this movie might seem like Ready or Not with the roles being reversed. And well, you would be right, because this movie is directed by the same guys that made Ready or Not. So, what did I like about this film? Well, first off, the little girl played by Alicia Ware was really good. She was great at playing both the scared little girl and the scary vampire. The faces that she makes and her performance throughout was perfect. I think she had a bit too much exposition dialogue later on and needed more creepy faces, but aside from that, she did a very good job. The other thing I liked was Melissa Barrera. She has come a long way as an actress, because I was not a fan of her performance in Scream 5, but she got much better in Scream 6, and she is even better in this movie. She plays a character called Joey, and she is the member of the group that has more of a conscience and is nicer to the little vampire girl, before she figures out she's a little vampire girl. And the relationship they had was actually really well done, especially if you look at it from the perspective of the little girl who is almost gauging and testing Melissa Barrera's character, knowing that she is later going to try and kill her. And just this movie's concept in general, I thought was a lot of fun to just watch unfold. And Dan Stevens is an actor that I've enjoyed watching ever since I saw him in 2014's The Guest, and he was great in this film as well. And I enjoyed how the movie played with vampire lore. Once the characters realize that they are dealing with a vampire, they start to think about vampire movies and try using garlic, wooden stakes, and crosses, and it was fun to see what worked and what didn't. So that stuff I enjoyed. And with all the talk that this movie was really bloody, I didn't see it. I thought the movie was bloody, but nothing more than a usual horror film of this type. But then we came to the last 20 minutes, and that's when the blood started to come in. So yes, this movie is bloody, but I still don't think it's as bloody as people have been making out. Now, as for the stuff I didn't like, well, first off, the characters. They are good, but they're not great. I constantly felt like I should be more invested in them, but aside from Joey, Frank, and Abigail, I didn't really care that much for the others. I just thought they needed a little bit more for me to really like them. And the comedy didn't really work for me either. There were a handful of jokes that worked, but most of the humor fell flat to me. The humor in Ready or Not worked a lot better and was much smarter with its writing. Also, the exposition in this movie was trying to be natural, but it actually felt very forced in execution. I get it, giving natural exposition is hard, and they gave it a go, but it just didn't work as seamlessly as they wanted it to. The biggest problem I had with this movie though is that the trailer ruined the movie. It gave the big twist away, and this wouldn't be so bad if they got to the vampire reveal quickly, but they dedicated like 45 minutes of screen time to the characters trying to figure out who's killing them off, and then they start going down a big rabbit hole as to who it can be, and all of this would be riveting if only the marketing didn't give away the big reveal. So that's a big problem with this movie to me, and it makes the film feel like it's spinning its wheels in the first half, as the movie is trying to get you invested on a whodunit mystery where the audience already knows who the killer is. So it makes me wonder, did they know that their big twist was going to be revealed in the trailers when they wrote the movie? Because if they did, I find it hard to understand why they took such a long time to get to the reveal, because knowing the answer made the build-up feel tensionless. Also, the last 15 to 20 minutes of the movie, it was entertaining, but it felt like a completely different movie to what we were watching, and the dynamic between two characters in particular just changes, and it did not feel earned to me. It just felt rushed. So although I went with it and enjoyed it, I thought it was very poorly written, and that's why this movie didn't fully work for me. And this movie basically is Ready or Not with the roles reversed and a vampire, and it was a fun time. Just not as fun as Ready or Not was. I think that Ready or Not took full advantage of its concept, whereas Abigail left me feeling a little empty by the end. So I wasn't as satisfied with this movie as I wish I was, but I still found it to be entertaining. So I give Abigail a low 7 out of 10. Maybe if I didn't see the twist coming, I would have given it a higher score. It probably would have gotten a high 7 or a low 8 or something. But as is, it gets a low 7. I do wonder if I would enjoy it more or less on my second viewing. But as of right now, I don't have the immediate desire to watch it again. But I most likely will when it drops on digital in about 2.5 weeks.